Hi,
Hey guys.
everyone. Welcome to Soar Snack Break. It's definitely not between two ferns, but it looks like it today. So today is Tuesday, June 23rd. And before we get started, I'll just tell you a little bit about the webinar tool. So you're all muted automatically, but you do have access to the live chat there on the right. So you can pop in your favorite emoji to try it out. You can also use the live chat to ask any questions. And so please feel free to ask questions. We love them. We'll answer any that you have. We'll also send you a recording of the webinar after this presentation is over, so you can reference it later or send it to a friend. We already have someone commenting that they miss these airport seats, which leads us to today's guest. This is Steve with PDXoriginals. Hey, Steve.
Hey guys, hi Ren, how's it going?
Hey, so can you tell us a little bit about the history of your company and the history of these cool benches?
Absolutely. So a few years back, my partner and I, we've been dabbling in vintage furniture for a while. We're kind of in the generation now that everybody buys flat pack stuff from IKEA. It maybe lasts 2 moves, and then you throw it in the dump. And we've never really enjoyed that part. We don't really like the aesthetics of a lot of it. And more importantly, we don't like the lack of sustainability that surrounds something like that. It seems really wasteful to us. So, we had just like to buy vintage furniture, refinish the tops, replacing the tops with our wood shop, stuff like that. And then we found these. Portland was trying to get rid of basically all of them. It was an all or nothing affair. It was up for a while and they were having a hard time finding people to buy them. And we, we're communicating pretty closely with them, and they basically let us know that they were going to find their way to the dump pretty soon there because the city couldn't afford to keep storing them anymore. So at that point, with all the years of travel we've done through PDX, it really hurt us to hear something like that. So we decided to take all of them. It was a really large endeavor. Just moving them to our warehouse itself, we had about 13 people on the dock. It sounded like a chop shop or a car shop with just people undoing all the pieces. And then we're left there to sit and look at this warehouse full of chairs and say, what do we do with them? And, first of all, some of them are still in good condition. We do sell those, but mostly what we wanted to focus on were updating them using different fabrics, solid woods sourced in Oregon that we hand built in our shop, and really try to focus on using these for a new era. Because one of the major things with these is, there's some of the vinyl was beat up. They've definitely taken some age. They were in the airport for some 40 odd years. The bones were still really solid, and we just didn't want to throw them away. And while we pursued that, we found that they were very, very popular with commercial clients, especially stuff like office waiting rooms, office lobbies, doctors' offices. Just sent them out to a barbershop in Texas. So they're just really comfortable. They're stylish. They, fit that mid-century aesthetic, but also don't look dated when you put them in a more modern workplace. So we've just had a lot of success finding them for that aspect.
Awesome. Can you talk a little bit about the history of this bench? Who designed it? Where does it come from? Is it still in production? Just that, like the history of this piece of furniture?
Sure. So these were built by a company called Chromcraft. They were a pretty famous mid-century furniture company. They mostly focused on stuff like dining sets. And, it was more of like mid-priced stuff, and you found them a ton in mid-century America. They designed a ton of these for airports. They still exist. We do a lot of work with different airports around the country just maintaining them. And, like Denver Airport has thousands and thousands of these still left.
Wow.
The company Chromcraft itself from Mississippi was kind of one of those sad stories of American manufacturing where it got bought out in the mid 80s. They said they're going to bring the factory back into it was one of those one factory towns where everybody worked for that company or surrounding stuff. And, it was promised to be brought back, and it didn't really work out like that. They've kind of gone through multiple owners since, kind of gutted for patents. And the company exists now. It's called Chromcraft Rivington, but they don't really have anything to do with these airport benches anymore. You can't really find any information about these specifically. Like, we've really tried to track down the actual designer because they look a lot like Eames ones, but there's no one to call. There's no one to talk to. So it's kind of one of those mysteries and sad American manufacturing stories, and another reason why we didn't want to let them die.
Yeah, but now you're turning it into an amazing American manufacturing stories because you guys are revitalizing them.
Yeah, we like to say made in America twice.
Made in America twice. I love that. So can you talk a little bit about what are the parts and pieces of this bench? Do they come in different configurations? What are the sort of design possibilities?
Sure.
What are the bones, and then what are the parts that you're doing?
So one of the coolest things about these is, I don't know if the angle shows it, but everything is built on a bar system. And so we can go anywhere from one seat, where we basically take the two legs and have turn it into a captain's chair, up to 4.
Wow.
And one of the really cool things about these in the modern era, where everything, needs to be more socially distanced, is on a 4-seat bench, we can leave considerable space between seating and just put wood tables. And we can put a wood table in any spot where a seat goes. So you can make really cool configurations. When you have L's, you can make it look like you have a floating table in the corner.
Oh,
We've done
wow.
some really cool stuff with Bali Welch in downtown Portland, where they have a whole bank of them that turns into an L with multiple tables. It looks like it's all one unit, but it's spread out.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite things about them are the legs. It kind of reminds me of those like old airplanes that were all, made out of silver and chrome, and just really, really cool and stylish and for the modern era. And so those are the original pieces. What we've done is update them with new fabrics and used hand-built, locally sourced wood. So like what we have right here is Oregon black walnut.
Oh, wow.
In our facility, we really try to focus on getting woods that are SFI and FSC certified, so sustainably sourced. Really trying to keep things local. And we use 3 different kinds of woods, but we can use a lot of others. We've done custom jobs for a number of clients. So really the options are limitless. And one of the other cool things that you see right here is this is some black leather. It's actually from Langlet's, which is a purveyor of motorcycle jackets that's been a Portland institution for like 70 odd years.
Oh my gosh, awesome.
To get this leather, it's really cool matte black leather.
Nice. And do you guys upholster it yourself, or do you work with upholsterers?
We do a lot of the upholstery in-house. Sometimes we have bigger jobs we farm out. And that's another one of our big things as a company is, when you have this kind of pandemic, it starts to draw your attention to maybe the errors of how commerce has started to shift over the last 30 years into really just buying stuff from a faraway place and having it shipped here. We really wanted to focus on localization, and everything we do, we try to use local manufacturers for stuff that we don't do in-house. Always try to use local materials and local makers and work with local shops so that we can always try to kind of keep the Portland economy vitalized. Instead of just giving our money to some faraway place and never being able to talk to the person that put that together, you'll find us showing up, configuring the bench, and helping you out if you ever have any customer service issues.
Love that. So if a designer wants to do like a custom option, can they come to you with fabrics that they're interested in? Can they work with you to create something like truly custom?
Absolutely. So like on the page you see right now, that floral pattern was actually recommended to us by Whole 9 Yards, the fabric shop in Southeast Portland. And we do custom stuff with designers all the time. We've done like horse hides, different leathers, faux. Like we've had one of our most popular ones is that brown leather that you see on your screen. We have a faux leather option for people with kids or like don't want to worry about getting it beat up as much. We really can do almost anything with these things, including, I don't know if we have a ton of this stuff showing there, but we can do a ton of different stitching patterns from flat to diamond. Really the options are almost limitless. We just like this style because it kind of mimics the originals most closely.
Yeah. And it looks like they also come in bar stool height.
Yeah, so this was actually just something we did originally for Portland Food Hall. And then we've also done one for I don't know if I can say this, but there's a pretty big brewery in town that had a new shop or a new brewery that they're going to open. I don't know exactly if that's happening anytime soon now, but we did that for them. And if you kind of can zoom into the base.
Thank you to your assistant. Really.
Yeah, so the base is actually designed off the PDX carpet. So we tried to use that same design and full 360 swivel. We have another model where it swivels at the base. We can powder coat these in any different color that you want. And obviously we can do a ton of different stuff with the fabric. And then when you're talking about, designer fabrics, this was something that was brought to us. It's at a bar, so they wanted something that was going to last. And so we did this faux leather on here that looks pretty cool.
Yeah. Hey, we've got a question. Thank you, designers. Do you do any weight testing on the products?
Yes. And that's one of the nice things about these. They're very sturdy. So the 3-seat bench comes in around 125 pounds. We've tested up to 350 pounds on there with the bar stool. They've been in really high traffic areas. Portland Food Hall has a lot of customers coming through there. We tested it up to 350 pounds too and had no issues, no breakage and stuff like that. So, and we guarantee the bases as well.
Someone says, if someone sat on the table because people, would that be an issue?
Sat on this table?
Yeah.
I would not recommend sitting on the table. We can make really thick ones if that might be an issue, and they are pretty sturdy, but it's about 1.25 inches, so I wouldn't recommend sitting on it.
Got it.
I haven't tried it before. Fair.
Uh-oh, you froze. Uh-oh. Designers, are they oh, they've come back. Here you go. Oh,
sorry
again. Oh, you're back. You froze for just a second, but you're back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. Really quickly before we move on to your other products, which is super cool. What is the metal that is made in the original ones? Is that chrome or steel, or it's chrome?
It's chrome, yeah. And so what we do with every bench that we sell, because we do sell quite a bit of the original vinyl ones, but even with those ones, we take off all the metal, we polish it, we clean everything up, we replace the backing at the bottom to put a new black mesh on there. So while they're original, we've also upcycled them so they're going to last as long as possible, and they look like new. Like the original vinyls that we select are, we have about 10,000 seats. We hand select each one to make sure if you buy the original vinyl that they're in the best condition possible. And we've had them in a lot of lobbies and waiting rooms at really high traffic areas and have had no issues with durability.
That's amazing. So the ones that you're working with now all came from the Portland airport. Are you pulling any out of any other airports, or are you just doing maintenance on those?
So just in the course of this, because Chromcraft really can't help you with any customer service issues, we've had a lot of airports contact us, both for help upcycling them and keeping them alive, but also, hey, do you want these? And so we've dealt with quite a few boutique airports around the country to add more to them. We really think of ourselves probably the foremost authority on these now in terms of updating them and fixing them up. So we get a lot of inquiries about that, and we really love to keep these alive and keep them out of the dump. So yeah, we picked up quite a few from different airports around the country.
Sweet. Are there any that you're allowed to say?
So we've helped with Denver. We've sent them pallets and pallets of stuff to update them. We have replaced a bunch of seats with the Burlington, Vermont airport.
Oh, wow.
And there's a boutique airport that's in the Los Angeles area that we're working right now to actually reupholster theirs. Because when they were looking, you can go out and buy a new set of these pretty stale German-made seats that all kind of keep you really tight in a block like that. When you look at them, they're well made, but they're not going to last 30 years. You're definitely not going to be able to reupholster them. The beautiful thing with these is if the fabric does fall apart on you in 10, 15 years, you can just reupholster them and they're good for another 10, 15 years. Like, they're really tanks and they're built to last. And that's something nowadays you just don't see very often.
Yeah. Well, as someone who comes from Alaska, where our airports are very small, one-room facilities, I enjoy that you are calling them boutique airports, because they definitely sometimes do not feel like that. So I love that term, and I'm going to use that from now on. So let's go on to your other products that you have. You've got a sit-stand desk, and you've got some other products here. Can you talk a little bit about how you've expanded your line?
Yeah. So just in the course of doing business, we've done a lot of stuff with commercial clients, office buildings, stuff like that. And personally, my partner works from home and her sister works at her house as well. So I've set up a lot of sit-stand desks myself. And the one thing I notice very frequently is that they're poorly made. Very seldomly do they use good wood. They're almost always laminate and crap that really shouldn't cost as much as it does. You're talking about $1,000 for stuff that's not built to last. The motors almost always crap out after like a year or two. So we really thought that there was a market for solid wood, locally made, really durable and attractive sit-stand desks. And so we're actually at the Harris Work Systems showroom. This is in Tigard, Oregon. They do a lot of great stuff with ergonomic and sustainable office furniture. So we kind of collaborated with them to come up with this. This is a Oregon black walnut tabletop. It's 1.25 inch thick. It's got a beveled edge, so it looks really sleek.
Yeah.
And it's got a poly finish to it, so it's really durable. It can deal with all your computers and pens and stuff like that. And then with Harris, they hooked us up with this hat contract 3-stage base. It's got 4 programmable options. It's really clean. It's got a 7-year warranty on its motor, which I can tell you most of those motors don't make it that long. It's got a lifetime warranty on the base itself.
Nice.
And we actually make it in 3 different finishes. This is a sapelli wood. It's kind of like a mahogany variant. Mm-hmm. This is Oregon white oak.
Uh-huh. Super popular right now.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Really fun to work with too. And then this is the black walnut that you see right here. Really, really like that black walnut. Just kind of gives it like an executive premium look that's hard to not notice when you walk into a room.
Yeah.
Again, built to last. These things are tanks. They're going to hold up to 350 pounds without problem, and just really built to last a long time and not just kind of have that laminate look that looks cheap to me.
Yeah. So for designers who are now working at home, they can give you a call and get a sit-stand desk?
Absolutely. We've already got with a couple work at home clients that, you know, wanted a nicer looking desk. And another thing with these, it's not going to be shipped to you in a box. We're going to show up at your doorstep with it and put it together for you. And it's very easy. We build it with mounts so that you can take the bolts out if you need to move it easily, put it in a different room, no problem.
Sweet. And then are you taking us over to look at the amazing coffee table?
Sure. And so this might be a little tricky in here, but if you follow us over here.
I am loving this like live interactive tour here. This is really amazing.
And so this is our Cascades coffee table. We've done this in a variety of finishes. There's actually one at the Burnside location of Central Office, the shared workspace. We designed this all in-house. The custom base is built by us. We kind of designed it with the Cascades mountain range in mind. So that's kind of where you see those sharp mountain-like angles. Really nice and thick. It has that floating look on the outside. And again, we can do this in any of those three finishes. And if you can't come to us with different wood ideas, we can certainly do those too. Those are just the woods that we really like to work with.
We've got a quick issue really quick. Our videos are, okay, our videos went out for a second, but now they're back.
Okay. So just to recap, this is our Cascades coffee table. We designed this entirely in-house. We kind of took inspiration from the Cascades mountain ranges that, you know, dot our skyline. I'm a big snowboarder and love being in the outdoors. So when we were thinking of coming up with a coffee table for a client, this is kind of what we came up with. We again make this in the three finishes that we've got over there: the white oak, the sapelli. This is the Oregon black walnut. We can use other woods if designers ask for it.
Is that like a cantilever design? Is that like a cantilever design? That's amazing. Yes. And what is the metal that you use there?
It's a powder coated.
Oh my
chrome.
Gosh, that's super cool.
Yeah, and we can do the legs in different chrome finishes too. So there's a ton of different options for them. The black really goes with the black walnut and the white oak really well. And then, I don't know if you guys heard, but at Central Office and Burnside, they have one of our white oak variants, and it's a really beautiful table. This is a fairly large one, but we can make them a little bit more narrow. Yeah. And the nice thing about this floating look is while it looks like it might topple, it's really sturdy on this end. So I actually had somebody sit on it, which scared me, but they sat on it. It did not break.
What is the size on that bad boy?
I have it on my website.
Oh, you're good. I didn't mean to put you on the spot because it looks pretty big.
Yeah, it is a really big one. So let me pull that up real quick. Sorry, designer. And then again, we have done different sizes of this. So some of our clients have liked a little bit smaller one. This is perfect for like a waiting room in a big area like that.
But that's great that designers can do a custom option with you. That's lovely to know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's something that's with all of our stuff is we work with designers very often to do custom stuff. So if you have particularities that you want, we can meet those needs. We really love working with designers on that type of stuff. And so this particular one is 60 inches wide and about 46 inches long at its deep or at its shortest edge, and 50 inches long at its longest edge.
And then it looks like you have some cute little bar stools here in the slides. Do you want to talk about those really quick?
So those bar stools we don't have in here, but those we worked with Orchestra Software, which is a local brewery software company. They work with a lot of like smaller breweries on their back end software, and they built a new facility and they wanted a lot of reclaimed wood stuff. So we custom built those tables with reclaimed wood from an 1800s Portland building and the bar stools. And we can make more of those. Been a really, really fun item for us to work on. Just again, really touching on the sustainability aspect of developing furniture, using stuff that exists already and not wasting a bunch of stuff out there. You really make some beautiful finishes on those. It's really attractive look, but also kind of gives you that rustic feel as well. Great. And then the sapelli table that's on the top right, that we worked with Oregon Screen Impressions. They just wanted some lobby furniture from us, and they needed new tables as well. So we made matching tables that are really, that like mimics the shape of our airport tables, but a much larger situation. And again, that kind of touches on the fact that we really love working with clients to come up with innovative solutions and still meet budgets.
I love that. Designers, if you have any last questions, feel free to chat them in now. But in the meantime, you can also head to our website right now and order samples or ask questions. And in the meantime, I just am really obsessed with these benches. I'm so excited to have had you. Hopefully we can all leave our homes eventually and start sitting on them in places. So that's exciting. And working with you, because what I'm hearing is basically the sky's the limit.
Yep. And we're based out of Southeast Portland. We have this showroom out here in Tigard. We also have a showroom in Urbanite, and we've got some stuff in the plans for a new showroom too. So we love to meet clients, and on the spot, you can either come by our warehouse and we can show you kind of the nitty gritty of it, or we can go to one of our nicer looking showrooms and really enjoy the different options that we've got. We absolutely love playing with different fabrics and designs with these. So if you've got a design that you think might be quirky or that we can't do, ask us. We can probably.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, designers. If you'd like to register for another snack break this week, you can smash that register now button. But in the meantime, thank you so much, Steve. It was great to see you and great to hear about your benches. The history is amazing, and I'm really excited about it.
Thanks, Brent. Thanks, guys, for showing up. Appreciate it.